Hi everyone, it's Red with RedDragonLeo.com and just doing a update here for Monday for Tuesday's trading day. No point in doing much on the write-up simply because, well, nothing much really changed. We just kind of traded sideways today. We did hit the fake print of 107.35. We pierced it, went on down to like 107.18, I believe. So that's done. We're fulfilled on that. So now what? Do we reverse? I don't know at this point. I'm sitting here looking at this weekly chart, wondering if we're going to reverse or not, and it's certainly not looking good for a wave two back up on the bull side. What if this sideways trading is our wave two? What if there is no wave two up like we're all expecting? I know there's a lot of bearishness out there, but this thing looks ready to roll over. It's hit the 50 mark. This here is still curling over on the weekly. And this is obviously a big concern because the cross here, the def cross on the weekly is coming. And when you look at it back here, where it crossed here, it just kind of fell off a cliff after that. That 1 week traded down, the next one kind of traded sideways all week instead of rallying back up, and then the next week just fell off a cliff again. What if we put in a candle just like this week? In other words, trade sideways all week long and not really get anywhere and not make that wave two back up, and then the following week after OPEX just fall off a cliff. And of course, this was just the start of it. I don't think that that's where we're at. I think we're getting ready to go into this kind of a move right here, but I don't know that for sure. There, of course, is a possibility that, again, that this rolls up here and puts in a small histogram tower above the zero mark and rises the market back up. But I honestly just don't see it with this cross like this here on the weekly, and the monthly here is still pointing down, losing strength. I just can't see any big rally up to break the highs or anything like that. Or even to get up here to, some people are calling for 1150, others 1180 to hit that trend line there, and I don't know. I just don't see it right now. I don't see it in the charts. When I look at this cross and seeing what it did here, it went down and it came back up, but when it came back up, it never crossed over the 50 moving average here. It hit it and fell back down, and certainly didn't go up to here and put in a higher high. So if this falls down and tries to go back up, it's kind of going to do the same thing most likely and hit this 50. This red line, this 50, and it's not going to go up here to this 1180. I just don't see it right now. Maybe I'm overlooking something, but I can't see it. Here on the daily, what concerns me is that actually the ADX line here is just now starting to move up and just starting to curl up and give power to whichever line is on top. Well, right now it's pretty clear that the red negative DI line is on top, meaning there's downward pressure on it, and the positive one is not looking like it wants to curl up at all. We are down here below 50. Doesn't look like it wants to curl up on the RSI. We're like 42.12, so still lots of selling in the market right now. So while we're all waiting for this wave two back up so people can get short, I don't know if we're going to have it or not. I mean, I would think we would, simply because it's OPEX week, but the charts are telling a different story, see? We're getting the bullish realignment here, bearish realignment, sorry, and starting to push down, and it's just slowly working its way down here. While, we would think that it would curl back up, and, like I said earlier, curl back up and maybe put in 1 or 2 or 3, bars above it. I really think it wants to go down a lot more at this point. So that's a tough one. It really is. So here we are The bulls, the best case I thought would have been for the bulls was to roll over here instead of doing this today and going higher. If they would have rolled over, went down into the negative and put in a lower trough, they could have curled back up and been ready to go back up tomorrow and to push up tomorrow, because they are certainly oversold here on the MACD's moving average lines here. They're certainly oversold here, but they're not oversold on the histogram bars. See, that's the thing, they're out of sync. You'd kind of need these to be down low like this, you see, and you'd want this to rise up and go like this, to go over and to roll over. You don't want them out of sync like this. When you see this below and it's trying to struggle to push up, well, at some point when these things are going to, when this rolls down below zero, it's going to take another move down. I mean, so we're pushing up here, but you add in the daily chart that's not curling up like I had thought maybe we would. It's really looking very, very bearish still. So even though we're rising up here, we did roll over a little here, and might try to rise up a little bit more. But when this thing finally rolls down to zero, it's going to take another leg down unless this daily rolls up. Now we are overheated on the 60 on the ADX, but look at where we're at on the RSI, 39.81. It's still down low. So it is concerning here for the bulls, at least. I mean, for the bears, I'm a bear, of course, but you know, I'd go either way on it, if, you know, to make money, whatever. But obviously, I prefer the bear side. But it really, when you look at this daily, we're all expecting this to curl back up and give us this wave 2. Well, I don't know how much of one we're going to get at this point. It certainly doesn't look like it's got very much strength to do very much, especially when this ADX line is still bottomed here and not nowhere near overheated to where it wanted to, you know, die out. There's still a lot of bearishness in this chart, and as soon as this starts popping up, if this negative DI line is still there, man, this thing's going to fall off a cliff, and it's just going to keep on going down. So, you know, I'm not really sure what to tell you. It's really hard to read it right now. This looks like it's ready to go down. So we're all expecting a move up to 1100 or something like that. Maybe 1107 somehow, if it's just like a gap feel from here. But from what level? Do we go on down first to, you know, down here to this line or to this line? To hit either one of these? Very possible. You know, the VIX here, of course, is the VIX is oversold or overbought. Sorry, so it is rolling down. So that's showing that the market should rise up if this VIX falls down. But that's not necessarily the case. The market could actually just trade sideways, and the VIX could fall down, and the market could just simply not really go anywhere, just trade sideways. So that's a possibility too. And so we are showing it oversold here. But again, if we keep trading sideways and don't rally up, then that's just going to be a big bear flag on the daily. But you know, this might come up a little bit and roll over. But right now, let me tell you, it's not looking like anything I'd want to buy. That's for sure. It's looking pretty ugly, to say the least. Especially when you look at this daily and you see this that's not even started to go up on the ADX, because this line gives strength to whichever line is on top. So when it starts moving up, is it going to take this positive DI line and rally it up? And because if it does, man, then we're going up high. You know, like some others are saying, we're putting in 1150 or 1180 or whatever. But this thing's got to roll up, and right now it's just not looking like it wants to do that. So, you know, and especially here on the weekly too. That's a big concern there with that cross. It's like, to think that this thing would go up here to 1150 or so when we're crossing here, and you compare it back to the other previous time it crossed, and once it crossed, you know, the market did go down, and it only came back up and retested the 50 moving average. It did not go back up and beat that high. So that is a big concern. So while we're trading sideways here, maybe while this VIX chart resets, I just don't know what to say about where it's going to go for tomorrow. I can just say that this 60 looks pretty bad because it's out of sync again, because we're overbought. Well, not really overbought, but we're in overbought territory here, and we're oversold here, so they're not synced up. And you know, again, we still have the ADX line up here high and giving lots of strength to the selling pressure, which happens to be the negative DI line here. So I don't know what to think at this point. You know, we could have a really big down move come late this week. It could happen, especially if we don't get some up move really soon. So, all right, gang, best of luck to you tomorrow. Stay on the sidelines. Safe place to be.